I've always been a bit of a propeller head when it comes to technology. I'm fascinated by uh, digital things, and it's fascinating how the technology has reached down to just about every level of society. So there's been a great democratization in terms of getting ideas out to people. Um, there's also a lot more noise and clutter to try to shout through. Um, the uh, the iOS system of iPhones, iPads, etc. I felt a kinship with the way those things worked, and I wanted to put together an app that was basically an update of the music minus one concept that's been around for years. I mean, that's something I used to practice with music. It was called Music Minus One, and there was an album called Eight Men in Search of a Drummer that Charlie Perry did, and I don't think they used a click track. I just remember you'd have a 4-bar break or an 8-bar break, and no matter how you counted it, you never came in right, and it was really frustrating. So I said, all right, let's fix that. I came out with something for the iOS, and then I decided, because a lot of people were requesting it for Android devices, or just for their computer, this Jazz Essentials Play Along Volumes 1 and 2. These cards are quite clever. You can just plug them in. It's a USB, so you could transfer these onto your iPhone or your Android device, or just use it on your computer. But the iOS version is hip because it has a built-in mixer, so you can customize the mix and customize the recording. You can record yourself with the rhythm section and send it to your teacher, share it with your friends, use it for auditions. So it's just a good way to help teach. I like teaching. It allows you to be in more than one place at one time. It's a product that we sell. So with the Apple apps, going through the Apple Store, there's a guarantee of the, the quality of the app, the safety of the app. Someone can put it on their device without fear of it being a malevolent presence. And for this service, Apple takes their percentage, but the support system is great. I think it's. I mean, I have no complaints. I'm very happy to be part of that community. The Android environment's a little bit more the Wild West, Pirates of the Caribbean or something. So it's a very complicated world to program in, so I just decided to offer this somewhat passive form of the data on these cards if someone wants to put it on their Android device. But creating a sophisticated app to work on those, I haven't been able to find a programmer yet who was willing to take that on. But my Apple programmer is a very brilliant guy named Lucas Ives, and we've had fun. We're pretty seriously contemplating doing a big band play along. That's a fairly massive project. I mean, everything that we've done as under the name or banner or umbrella of fuzzy music coming from the idea of fuzzy logic, which I was sort of interested in, has been what you could call a kitchen tabletop operation. My wife and I have, we tried putting out CDs, and my book, No Beethoven, we published it ourselves originally, and then it was picked up for actual paper print. I composed it to be an iPad viewing and also even audio experience of a book, because there's so much you can share. I mean, there are literally over 1,000 photographs in the iPad version of the book, and with the iPad and the way the the screen illuminates the photos. I mean, they look amazing. All these photos. You know, it's interesting. I've scanned photos that I've had in cardboard boxes for decades. I was looking for some digital photos from a tour I did with Diana Krall. I couldn't find them. They disappeared on a hard drive somewhere. So there's something about analog that's still pretty cool. Anyway, I'm glad that people seem to be enjoying the book, and in fact, it's gotten picked up. It's been translated into Japanese, German, Italian, and a French translation is in the works now. Unpublished. So my autobiography, which also functions as a chronicle of the band Weather Report, is titled No Beethoven. And it's, you know, there's a little bit of conceit in the oddity of such a title, but it came from something Joe Zawinul once said to me. He was bragging about his compositional prowess, his ability to write great music, and he said to me, "I ain't afraid of no Beethoven." It's very typical Zawinul, so I just thought no Beethoven would be fun. In fact, at one point in the book, when I updated it, I ended one chapter with a very emphatic "Yes, Beethoven," because the Beethoven Orchestra in Bonn, Germany, was the first orchestra to play a piece. In fact, they helped with the commission. It's a concerto for drum set and orchestra by the English composer Mark Anthony Turnage. So Beethoven somehow factors very importantly in my life all of a sudden. And since the premiere of that concerto a little over a year ago, I've also performed it with the Los Angeles Philharmonic at the Hollywood Bowl and the Helsinki Philharmonic in Helsinki, Finland. Scheduled to do it next November with the BBC Philharmonic in Manchester. And the cool thing about it, it's not a like typical jazz meets classical, and there's not a rhythm section. I mean, it's a concerto for drum set and orchestra. The composer decided to title it Erskine, which was mildly embarrassing, and each movement for the members of my family, somewhat to their chagrin, but I'm glad they were good sports. So it's a very personal piece of music, 35-minute concerto. It's a lot of fun to play. And oh yeah, technology. I use an iPad instead of printed out music. I should memorize the thing, but maybe by next year I'll have it committed to memory. We're trying this USB. I wanted to give it to you, Lee, to see if you'd like it. This was, you know, we'd put out a CD of the Don Grolnick group.
Oh yeah, what a great band.
Which was recorded at the Queen Elizabeth Hall in London in 1995, and we released the first set because it fit on a CD. A lot of people were asking, would we eventually, you know, get around to releasing the entire concert, and we decided to release it only because I finally found the second set of the concert on a backup disc somewhere, and instead of 2 CDs, I decided to try this USB stick. Real fans like their CDs, and reviewers have been so far reluctant. They say if it's not a CD, we're not interested. But we're fuzzy, I call it, you know, my label's Fuzzy Music. We call this Fuzzy Memory Music Archives. And we're hoping that people may come around to, the cool thing about it, that these are high resolution WAV files, and we've even got a little bit of video content on here. And we just got an astonishingly good 5 stars out of 5 review in an audio magazine for this. So I don't know if we're ahead of our time or Hi, this is Peter Erskine.